Hello and welcome to the briefing for the 9 Locks 10K Challenge 2024. If you're watching this in 2025, some things may have changed, so you might want to go and find the more recent version of this. My name is Stuart Steele, I'm the race director for the event, and I'm just going to take you through the events for the day and how it's going to work. So what we're going to cover today, or just in this sort of session, is a welcome from me, a timetable, parking, transportation, baggage, race instructions, course details, safety information, finish line information, and how you get your results and photos. So, introduction from me. Obviously, it's Sunday the 24th of November, and the race starts at the Bonded Warehouse. Just in terms of welcome, the event started, this is now in its third year. Numbers have grown quite exponentially, a bit beyond our expectations. So just bear with us a little bit as growing pains take time to solve, and every time we solve one problem, some of the little challenge likes to pick up with us. So our aim for you is to have a safe, successful event. You're going to enjoy every single second of it, even though you'll find it's largely uphill. Get to the finish line with a fabulous smile on your face, get your goodie bag and go home knowing you've undertaken one of the bigger challenges in the Black Country over the winter. So approximate times, and these are approximate, is that 9:30 in the morning your first runners will start. We'll be sending you off in 15-second intervals, or there or thereabouts. Last runners should be on the course by about 11. We're expecting the first runners to finish at about 10:35, maybe a bit sooner than that, depending on the course conditions and the type of runners we have on the front. 11:30 for presentations, if the weather is suitable. If it's absolutely awful and lashing it down, we will just skip this bit and let people go home and get warm. That's more important to that, or obviously Wetherspoons, Maryhill Centre, plenty of eateries around in the area. We're expecting no runners finishing after 12:30. So arrival and muster. So at the waterfront end, if you're getting the coach to the start, people can start arriving from between 8 and 8:30. The first coaches will be leaving at 8:45, and the Bonded Warehouse will open for race number collection at 8:45 as well. Coaches will be seeded this year. We're going to start seeding you. We're going to give you a bit of a departure time, and you'll have a number written on your that'll be emailed to you, or a letter that'll be emailed to you, which will be your coach number, and there'll be A, B, C, D, E. We will allow a little bit of change in things, but the coaches will be full to capacity, so you're dependent on people not turning up if you want to jump forward or jump back. We didn't want to do this initially, but actually, because the numbers have shot from a very manageable 400 to well over 600 now, we have to be a bit more organised about these things, I'm afraid. If you are going to make your way to the start and get a coach back, that'll just be done on a first come first serve basis, and we'll do it till nobody else is doing. We'll advertise the latest coach departure just a bit closer to the date when we know what the numbers are like. Parking areas, you can park on the waterfront car park. Parking's there free most of the day. There is some restricted parking areas. If you park on the waterfront itself, which is the nice sort of bricked and paved bit around the front, there's a 3-hour limit. I found that out when I was signing the course last year to my £45 pain. But the main car park itself doesn't have a limit on it, and that's the one that you'll be signposted and the car park signs will be heading towards. There's no parking at the start area because that's reserved for boaters and event crew only, and just make sure that you allow yourself plenty of time to get to the car park, use the facilities if necessary, and make your way back to the coach. There will be toilets at the finish line by the pub for the duration of the morning, and there'll be toilets at the Bonded Warehouse as well. So just make sure that you give yourself a bit of time. If you're running a bit late, don't worry, we can sort things out. So the coaches depart once they're full, so hopefully all the A people will turn up, get on the coach, and that coach will get away. The second coach will leave when all the B people are on it, the third coach when all the C people's on it, and hopefully the first coach will be back by then, and we'll be rinsing and repeating. We're trying to make a steady flow, hence the reason we're doing a race briefing virtually like this, so it's available to you, and so you don't have to wait around to listen to my dulcet tones on the morning before you can get on your way. Also, it'll help with the registration side of things, so you can get in there, collect your number, get what you need to do done in the bathrooms, drop off your bag if you're going to do that, and then head your way down to the start line and off you go. So there'll be no waiting around. So estimated travel time on the coach is about 15 minutes, and it'll be about 20-25 on the way back, because Merry Hall will be a lot busier at that point in the day. So there'll be 3 coaches cycling around, each has got 50 odd seats, and they will hopefully be on site, fingers crossed this year, from 8 o'clock in the morning. And we will make sure those coaches are stacked before they go. So there is a baggage transport availability at the back. It's going to be limited, but it will help a few people out. So when you get to the start, there'll be a sign that says baggage van. Drop your stuff in there and it'll be winged its way to the finish line. It's primarily for public transport users. You can use the charity shop approach, which is go and buy yourself a hoodie from a charity shop for a couple of quid. Drop that off at the start line, leaving all your stuff at the stuff that you're fond of at the finish area in your car. And then what we'll do is we'll make sure that those hoodies and whatever you buy from Oxfam, Barnardo's and Mary Stephen's Hospice get back to Mary Stephen's Hospice, having been through our washing machine here at the office. We do that every year. We do that for a few other events as well. It works really well. Charity get a few pounds and the item back as well. Don't bring anything massive on the coach, or want to check it into the baggage, and ideally no phones or keys, because we don't want to be responsible for Bentleys and items of that. We're not sure how this van's going to return. It's the first year we're going to be doing it with potentially multiple runs, so just make sure that you're sorted at either end. We will have foil blankets around and things like that, but just bear that in mind, please. So your race number and collection. So when you get there at the bonded warehouse, you should have had a text message in advance, and that text message will tell you your race number. Just go in there, flash your phone with your race number in. You'll get your race number and your timing chip all in one unit, and there'll be pins available as well. Pick those up, off you go to the start line. So attach it to the front of your race number, or on your leg if you want to do that, on your shorts if that's something that does that. Please don't bend and fold it, because you damage the transponder on the back, your timing doesn't work, and nobody's happy at that point. So the race start is generally self-seeding. You'll be seeded in those A, B, C, D coaches based on your speed and performance order. So the faster your estimated time that you put in is going to be, the earlier you'll go. But you don't necessarily need to out the order at that point. You're going to go through the narrow gap at the beginning of the little park at the end by the bonded warehouse. You'll run around the park, you'll then turn left and go onto the canal towpath. We put a cone a little bit further out, just sort of 10-15 metres, maybe 25 metres down the road. So once the next person in front of you gets that cone, off you go. Try not to trigger the timing system in advance. We do overwrite your last scene on the start, but you don't want to be, you don't want to be 25 seconds out, do you? So just follow up the marshal's instructions and all will be good. If you're going to try to avoid running in large groups down the canal towpath, if you want to run with your mate, that's fine. But please don't sort of form groups of 15 to 20, because it'll just turn into chaos when we get to some of the areas that are a bit snugger. There's a drink station at approximately 5k, depending on the accuracy of your Garmin, and there's cups and dumps, and in that area, please don't throw any litter outside of that area. We will pick up anything in there, and we will obviously sweep the course and pick up anything that you accidentally drop, but please don't do so. It gives the event a terrible name, and will potentially not let us have that event going ahead and forward. It's environmental responsibility. Our intention is to leave the towpath and its surrounding park areas exactly how we found it on the morning of the event. We take great pains to pick up signs, retrieve notifications, all of that sort of stuff, and the cable ties. 2 or 3 guys following you, the last runner up the course, are sorting this stuff out, but please try not to drop it anywhere other than the drink station. All the marshals on course. We're up to about 22 marshals at the moment, and they're there to ensure you're on the right track and provide assistance if necessary. There should be a sign every 500 metres or so, but that means in 10 kilometres you should see 20 to 30 signs throughout the things to make sure you're on the same route, and they're placed regularly around. You're going to be sharing the canal with other users. So these will be fishermen, cyclists, people out for a walk, dog walkers, and general public. Also, some generally unsavoury characters at times as well. So just respect the shared space and take any gentle support or teasing with the fun it's all intended to be. We're here to have a fun day and have a great experience. And getting into it with a dog user who's gone left and you've gone left and you've gone right and he's gone right and sorry, we're all a bit silly. Off we go and just crack on with it. They're not bothered about your race. You're not bothered about their dog walk. So let's just make sure we're all friends and family on the canal towpath. So the route overview is that you're going to get on the canal towpath after running around the little park. You're going to turn left. You're essentially going to run along with the towpath on your right hand side at that point, and keep going until you get to a bridge, and it's essentially a T-junction. You've got sort of three options there. One is you run into a park which is nowhere near a canal, and you need to be alongside the canal until we tell you not to be. You turn left, you're going to end up in Stourbridge, which isn't really what we want to do, and you're going to turn right. It's going to be a right turn at approximately 2 kilometres, and that's when the sort of hill climbing sorts of starts. You're going to carry on running with the canal towpath on your right hand side at all times, and follow the canal towpath. It's clearly marked. There's water there. You're going to see boaters, various pubs along the way. When you get to a marshal who's going to direct you into the woods. If you're familiar with Dudley Park Run, this is the bit where you do the downhill section, which is normally quite muddy and slippy. The wooded section is always a bit of a challenge. So you're going to go down. It's very the only reason this section's in here is to correct the distance and make sure we've got it. And it's quite a slippy descent initially. It's very trail conditioned, and it's quite well packed after that initial descent. If it's absolutely terrible weather, we will assess it first thing in the morning and just make sure it's safe for you to use. We've not had to cancel. It was pretty awful last year and pretty dismal the year before as well. So it could be any sorts of things. So this is the point where you heel and toe and make sure that you know your limits and walk if necessary. It's better to do that than to end up binned down on the ground with picking thorns at your backside for the remainder of the day. Follow the signs and through the woods, and avoid going on autopilot if you're used to doing Dudley Park Run, because it's just a different set of routes as you get there. Once you come back onto the towpath, you're going to run back, and at this point the canal's going to be moving on to your left hand side. Once you get back to the marshal that pointed you into the woods, you're going to cross over another bridge and turn left, and again left hand side for the canal towpath for the remainder of the event. The towpath terrain in general is going to be puddles and mud present, and paved sections where they've got block paving can be quite slippy when it's wet. Could be frosty as well, so just bear that in mind. Footwear recommendations from my point of view is I wear something called Asics Kayano. They're a high stability trainer designed for heavier runners. They're not racing flats, but they're not grippy trail shoes. I get around just fine in those and get through the event in about 55 minutes distance wise. So robust or light trail shoes are perfectly acceptable. But just it's not one for your vapor flies in reality. You're going to struggle with those in places unless you're really, really experienced to running off-road in them. In terms of running etiquette, can we just make sure that we run single file where possible and be respectful of the other towpath users that are out on the course? I will say that again. If you fall in, the water is most likely waist deep, and you should be able to stand up and make your way to the side. And there are, in places where there's locks, there are climb out points as well and ladders. Ask for help, and if you are another runner coming along, just make sure if you're helping somebody get out, lie down on the floor and help when you pull the person out. Call us on the number on the screen, which is 01384 569 519 for assistance. I know that's a landline, but it gets diverted to any number of our mobile phones on the day, and then we will relay somebody to your location. Again, other users, antisocial behaviour, that sort of thing. So, fishermen, cyclists, runners, walkers, dog walkers, anybody else, respect their right to use the towpath. It makes us look good and promotes a good vision for the event, and gets a bit more support than a bit more negativity. If you come across an injured runner, proceed to the next marshal. That marshal will call for help and will come and collect you in one of our vehicles. There are medics on the course and an ambulance as well. We've crossed the threshold for UK athletics, so there will be 4 first aiders on course, dotted around the course, plus an ambulance and a paramedic that are on call. Never want to use them. I hope they have a very quiet and boring day on the 24th, but they're there when we need them. So that marshal will relay to us. We'll get them to you as soon as possible. If you come across an unresponsive person, you are the first person there. Please stay with the person and then send the next person to follow you along with to the next marshal, who will then relay and call for action. That plan is in place, so the marshals know where they are, and we know that the distance between 2 marshals should be no more than 500 meters. So we should be no more than 250 meters of getting to somebody. If you do that, you're doing the right thing. You can sleep well at night, and you'll get your money back and a refund, and probably some other good stuff from us for doing the right thing on the day. Stepping over people who are lying on the floor isn't a good look for anybody. There are some low bridges. In fact, there's quite a lot of low bridges, and there are signs in place to indicate that low bridges that are on by British Waterways and Canals and River Trust. If you're a tall person, i.e. 5'10" and over, just treat every bridge as a low level bridge, because there have been some interesting incidents with helmets and lead cyclists over the last couple of years. So height awareness is crucial for your own safety and everybody's entertainment. So when you get to the finish line, you'll have gone up the 9 locks and you'll run along the flat bit towards the finish line. There's a bridge as you come into the Maryhill Centre, the waterfront centre. That bridge is just right before the Brierley Hill Hop House. Again, it's fairly low, so just make sure that you pay attention to it. As you come under the bridge, you'll be peeling off to the right. Mind the curb is the phrase we use there. Come under the arch and the gantry, and you can get your goodies. So you should be getting a finisher's medal. There'll be options to do selfies. We've got a big banner that says I'm a finisher, and a few stations on that one. Water, nibbles and a goodie bag. And then there's toilets there at the end as well. Please, if you can, just try and leave the toilets as you found them. We had some sort of unfortunate incidents where one of them had to be taken out of action. Somebody just didn't really use it in the way it should be used. So, we all like a clean toilet, so let's just make sure we behave ourselves and look after them in the way we'd want them. If you want to make use of the pub, they have got a function on upstairs this year, and so access is relatively restricted unless you're spending money in the pub. They open from 12, and if you want to visit the pub website's there, and you can book a table in advance. On site as well, we've also got a Cafe to You franchise. A lady called Donna's coming along, as well as the cake people from last year as well. So something for everybody. Results will be posted online as soon as you cross the finish line. It takes a couple of minutes to get through, and you should get a text message from there. The photography, there'll be an icon on the finish line, on the finish results on the website after a couple of hours after the event. Those photos will be uploaded, and you'll be able to use your selfie or search by race number. As long as you wear your race bib on the front, we'll be able to find your photographs. But also it means that your timing is going to work. So don't cover the number with a jacket or clothing, especially if it gets wet. If in doubt, you can use a race number belt, whereby people, things they use in triathlons, and they flap around, in which case you can put it on and off and over and top of things as well. Finally, thanks very much for supporting the event. It's our 3rd year, and to be honest, we've been surprised by the number of entries that we've had. It looks like it's going to be another fab experience. We love doing it, the marshals love doing it, and it's a great day out for us. So please enjoy yourself. If you have any problems or challenges, please come and talk to us at the end. Please see the lead marshal at the finish line, or come and find me. I'm normally milling around looking quite stressed. So, and do get in touch. Look forward to having you. Start lists will be out imminently, if not by the time you see this video, and hope you have a great day. Look forward to seeing you on the 24th. Stay safe, train well, and see you at the finish line.